you for telling me the frequency is free, sir. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. My name is Mark in the southeast of England. Who's coming back to me, please? Back to you, sir.
Okay, Martin, okay. I'm just staying on this frequency and waiting for somebody, but just simple staying on this frequency. My operator name is Max. Michael Alpha X-ray, my QTH is Ukraine, Odessa City, my call sign is the Uniform Radio 5 Foxtrot Tango Tango. QSL Martin.
Yeah, Uniform Radio 5 Fox Tango Tango. Very good afternoon to you, Max, and nice to hear you safe and well. Max, your signal is very strong today. You're 5 and 9, absolutely no problem. Great signal. I'm using a 5/8 wave vertical antenna, and the power is 100 watts from my IC-7300. Back to you, Max. You are 5 Fox TT. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Fox.
Okay, your signal is 5.7 to 5.9 plus. Very different propagation and signal is up and down, but no problem to copy. So back to you.
Yeah, absolutely true, Max. Your signal actually dropped from 5 and 9 down to 5 and 2, but with a perfect audio today. Tell me, Max, what is your antenna today? What is your antenna? Back to you. Okay, negative copy. Uniform Radio 5 Fox Tango Tango. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Okay, nothing is heard. Max, if you're still there and you can hear me, Best 73 Foxtrot, Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, calling CQDX on 10.
Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. This is Kilowatt 2 Ontario Radio Sierra. How copy?
Yeah, K2 ORS M0 JCF returning. Copy you very, very well. About 5 and 8 on the call in. A little bit of QSB. I just caught the bar graph, the meter, just out the corner of my eye. So I'll watch it properly next time round. Give you a proper report. The name this side is Mark. That's Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo, and I'm about 15 miles southeast of the city of London. So I'll give you a proper report on the next over, and I'll give you some tech details as well if you'd like them. Back to you, Kilo 2 Oscar Romeo Sierra. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Fox.
Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Fox from K2 ORS. Okay, Mark, very nice signal, very good sounding signal. About a 5-6 here, about a 5-6 into Maine. My name is Warren, Whiskey Alpha Radio Echo November, Warren. If you look at QRZ, you'll see my Massachusetts address. We have 2 QTHs. So I'm up in Maine, a little below freezing here, a little bit of frost, and snow expected tomorrow. That's the WX. We're running here an older ICOM 746 Pro, an Ameritron amplifier, a solid-state amp 1306, and a 3-element Yagi approximately your direction. Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Fox, K2 ORS, over.
Yeah, K2 ORS M0 JCF returning. Thanks for the report there. 5 and 6 will do me just fine today, Warren. Up there in Maine, a beautiful part of the eastern side of the USA. I've never been actually to Maine, but I've seen it from the air many times, so I do know. The closest I got, I land in Bangor in Maine. One year I was flying to Florida, and we was only on a small aircraft, so it had to refuel at Bangor in Maine, and it was around October time. So as we came into land, and we could see those beautiful fall colours that were there, so obviously just before winter, they were changing colour, and it was quite spectacular. That's my vision of Maine, Warren. But yeah, you're peaking sort of about 5 and 7 to me, dropping down to about 5 and 4, but with a perfect audio. This side, we've got an IC-7300 by ICOM. I'm sure you know it, quite ubiquitous these days. About 100 watts out the back of the radio, and the antenna's just a 5/8 wave vertical, so we have a very simple antenna today, Warren. Whiskey X-ray here. Well, we're not as cold as you. We had that last week. The last few days we've had rain. It's about 6 degrees, 7 degrees out there at the moment. It's a bit miserable. It's very damp. No snow. We had snow in many parts of the UK a few days ago. And, you know, it always brings Britain to a standstill. 2 inches of snow and that's it. Everything stops. And it's not for a snow day fun either. It's just, I think, you know, we just can't get back to as it was back when I was a kid. You could be knee deep in snow and you'd still get yourself to work, get yourself to school. I used to ride a motorbike in the snow. But anyway, I'm harping on now and banging on about the old days. K2ORS M0 JCF.
Okay, Mark. No, very good, very good. Yeah, I have a friend in Wales. Actually, a couple of friends in Wales, and one in North Wales told me he got, I think, 6 inches of snow last week, 4 or 5 days ago, something like that. But they're pretty much recovered from that. So that was, yeah, that slowed him down for sure. And okay, I'm flying into Bangor. Well, I've been through Bangor a number of times. I'm about a 3-hour drive from Bangor. And Maine is a fairly big state. Like you've flown over, I'm sure you know. I was telling my friend in Wales, it's I think it's 2 or 3 times the size of Wales and like 1.5 times the size of Scotland as a point of comparison in terms of area. And yeah, okay, on your weather, yeah, this is typical fall weather. The kind of thing that we have here to the gray days, you know, before the snow starts coming. And I think we're going to get a significant amount tomorrow, which is unfortunate because it's a holiday for us. And as far as UK, I've traveled. I've been to the London area 3 times, but it's been about 20 years. And I did a lot of walking around the city to familiarize myself and quite enjoyed my trip there. So F0 JCF K2ORS, back to you.
Yeah, K2ORS M0 JCF returning. Yeah, I can see on the map, you know, Maine is almost Canada, isn't it? It's you got New Brunswick to one side and then you've got Quebec on the other side, and of course just below you you've got Vermont and New Hampshire. But yeah, I see the way on the map, you know, it's quite a strange affair that between Vermont and Quebec it's a straight line, and then it gets to Maine and all of a sudden Maine goes northwards right up to towards Edmonton and then comes back down again to near St John. But yeah, just check it out. And of course, Bangor's quite near the coast as well. But there you go. Yeah, I mean, I've been to the USA probably about 15 times now. In fact, we was only in Florida last October, just me and my wife this time. But I've been coast to coast. I've been over to the other side. I quite like Arizona. I did like the Red Rock country. I think, you know, if I lived that way, just for the solitude and for the scenery, I quite like Arizona. Let's say that Red Rock country with all the saguaro cactus and that, probably because it reminds me of being a kid and watching all those westerns on the TV way back in the day, you know, back in the 60s, 70s. But I've been to California and Nevada around that way. That's the western states. And I've done California. I've driven down the Pacific Coast Road from San Francisco down to San Diego. That was a fantastic trip. Did it with a few mates. You know, we were a lot younger then. That was 1990. So, you know, it's great fun. But now my kids and my daughters are both grown up. You know, they're grown women in their mid to late 20s now. and so they don't come on holiday with us anymore. And I keep saying to my wife, you know, now's the time, like a few of my friends have done, you know, to drop off in somewhere like New York or Washington, DC that is, and just you know, just pick up the car or a camper van or something and just keep driving west, whichever way the roads take us, you know, just to see what it's like, and then maybe come back east but further south. But that's a project for the future. You know, just got to convince my my wife that living out of a suitcase is a good thing. I've done that before. I mean, I've travelled the world, and I've lived literally out of suitcases, boxes, camper vans and all sorts. It was probably good fun then, but probably now I like a few more home comforts. I know my wife certainly does. Back to you there, Warren. K2RS M0 JCF.
Okay, yeah, very good, Mark. The signal's really holding up well. Somebody is fired up fairly close. I'm getting a little bit of splatter, but 100% copy of your signal. Yeah, very good on the travel in Arizona and California. I lived in California briefly for about a year. I've been through Arizona a number of times. I was a little surprised. I had a friend that moved from New Jersey to Arizona, and I thought he's going for the wide open spaces, but he's got a he makes good money. You know, he was a professional person, and his wife had a good job, but he ended up with a very small property, very small garden, as you would say, in Arizona. And I asked him about it. He said most of the west, that part of the west in Arizona, is either owned by the federal government, it's land that's set aside, or it's owned by the Indian tribes. He said you have to be very, very wealthy to have a considerable amount of land. So that I was a little put off. I decided if I were going to move there, I wouldn't want to move into a small property that was, you know, surrounded, a small suburban lot, and you can look out the window and see your neighbor's, you know, house. I decided that's not for me, and I'm not wealthy enough to buy, you know, a few hundred acres. So there you go. Anyway, that's my soapbox on Arizona. It is beautiful country. So is New Mexico. Been through there and so forth. Colorado is great. I don't know if you didn't mention that, but Colorado has a lot of variety with the mountains and so forth. Anyway, I haven't had my breakfast yet. I got up a little late. I'm off today, so I'm probably going to go and have breakfast. But thank you very much for the QSO. It's been fabulous. And hope to talk to you again very soon. I hope we get a couple more years out of this band. M0 JCF G2ORS.
Yeah, K2RS M0 JCF. Yeah, I think maybe, you know, having visited Arizona, I was obviously the first time I'd ever seen it. It was very, very stunning to see. And then we did the classic one. Yeah, we went to the Grand Canyon, down the canyon, back out of the canyon, and then took a light aircraft flight. I say through the canyon, but it was really above the canyon until we got to Las Vegas. So yeah, Colorado, never been there. It's on the bucket list. New Mexico, one of those places I've never really considered. I don't know why. It's just one of those places like Texas. You know, it's just not on my bucket list, along with Oklahoma, Kansas, and of course Nebraska, and that, you know, you're starting to go north now, and I think if we're going to go north, really, I think we'd like to also see Canada. I'd like to do Canada east to west or west to east, you know, possibly fly out to Vancouver and then drive back across the country. I don't know. It's for the future. Anyway, Warren, must let you go and have your breakfast. I'm sure that 10 meters is going to be open for a few more years. I've been using it quite reliably since 2022, so I've had a good 2.5 years out of it so far. We're meant to peak next year, so I reckon by 2027 that it will be tailing off. I've just taken down my 2-meter beam as well, and I'm about to build a Moxon 2-element beam antenna to put on the rotator where the 2-meter beam was. Give me a bit more directional capability at the moment with the 5/8 wave vertical. It seems to be a really good antenna on 10 meters, but of course all my power was going in every direction, not exactly where I want it to go. But anyway, great speaking to you. As I say, I'll let you go and have that breakfast, and I'm sure we'll catch up again, and if we don't, I'll wish you a happy Christmas now and happy holidays. I know you're the USA's right in the middle of it all at the moment, holiday season. So take care, and I'll say goodbye, and 73 to everyone around you there, Warren. K2RRS, M0JCF. Cheers, mate.
Okay, Mark, very good. Excellent QSO. Okay on the Moxon. I have a Moxon up here, 15 meters. Works quite well. And I have a friend, one of my friends in Wales, South Wales, near Swansea, has a Moxon on 10. And he does fantastic. I was, oddly enough, thinking of putting up a 5/8 10 meter just to have an Omni antenna. And yeah, a couple of quick words. Yeah, Vancouver is lovely. It's a little expensive, but a wonderful city. And then you might consider Calgary and Banff and Jasper, that area in the Canadian Rockies. Just stunning scenery. Wonderful place. New Mexico, really quickly. Well, Santa Fe is quite an art destination, art colony. And then you can go, you can tour Los Alamos if you're into the scientific side of things. They have a museum there, shows you the development of the bomb and so forth. It's very interesting stuff. And then if you go down south, it's the Coro, and then you go a little west on the road, you can see the very large array of radio telescopes. I forget how many, a couple of dozen. And they're big radio telescopes, and they're on double sets of train tracks, and they can move them in and out, different apertures. It's, again, if you're into the science side of things. So those are some of the things that you might be interested in New Mexico. Anyway, very 7-3s, and happy Christmas and happy holidays, happy New Year. M0JCF, A2RS. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thanks for that information. And yeah, it's on the bucket list, Banff, definitely on the bucket list. And yes, Los Alamos I would definitely like to see, although I may give Roswell a miss. That's in New Mexico, isn't it? But that's joking aside. I'm sure we'd have to pass through it and just look for aliens. Take care, and bye-bye for now. QRZ, Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, southeast of England, looking for DX. Nothing is heard. CQDX, CQDX on 10. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot calling CQDX 10.
Okay, this is Kilo November 4 Sierra Alpha.
Yeah, Kilo November 4 Sierra Alpha. Very good afternoon to you, old man. The name this side is Mark. That's Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo. 15 miles southeast of the city of London. I'll give you a report and some tech details if the propagation holds up on the next over. So back to you, KN4SA. This is M0JCF.
Okay, Mark, very good. Yes, sir. Nice to meet you. My name is Loy, Lima Oscar Yankee Loy, located here in Jacksonville, North Carolina. And you are 5 and 7. Band's not really open real good yet, but no problem copying you. You're 5 and 7, Mark, over.
Yeah, KN4SA, M0JCF. Oh, thanks for the 5 and 7, Loy. And very nice to meet you, probably for the first time. And you're 5 and 5 to me, Loy. You're peaking 5 and 5. Bit of QSB down to about 5 and 2, but the audio's good and strong, good and loud. Absolutely no problems hearing you. I'm using an IC-7300 today. The antenna's very simple, just a 5/8 wave vertical, so just a needle needle in the sky, and about 100 watts or whatever's coming out of the back of the radio is as near as, damn it, 100 watts. And Jacksonville, now correct me if I'm wrong, you said Jacksonville, North Carolina, and I thought Jacksonville was at the top end of the Atlantic coast of Florida. So are there two Jacksonvilles close to each other? Back to you, sir.
Yes, sir. There's probably more than two Jacksonvilles. I'm not sure, but yeah, our Jacksonville is in North Carolina. I'm on the coast of North Carolina. You're right. The most commonly, probably one you'll run into is Jacksonville, Florida. But this town here is a big military base, Jacksonville. And I see the QSB you're talking about. You're falling back to like S1. So. Conditions are not that great, but I'm copying everything that you're saying, Mark. Over.
Yeah, absolutely no problem hearing you. At the moment, I've got zero noise floor. I do in the afternoons, late afternoon, get a bit of noise pops up on 10 metres and 12 metres, around about Santiago 3. And I think it's somebody's lights, LED lights, come on automatically with a neighbour a few doors away. It's a long story as to why I don't complain. And to be honest, you know, it's not the end of the world. It could probably affect us today if you'd called in later. But yeah, no problem whatsoever. Well, I don't know about how many Jacksonvilles there are, but I've just checked on the map. And yeah, of course, you're quite right. And it's interesting because quite often I talk to hams out of Jacksonville, Florida, and that's what threw me, you know, but that's me being very presumptuous. I just it made me smile, and I thought, well, hang on a minute, this person wants to change the borders. Well, that's fine by me. But yeah, I think you're quite a way away from the Jacksonville, Florida. Anyway, talking of the Florida, and of course they always have fantastic weather when there isn't a hurricane. And I was going to say that the Whiskey X-ray here is miserable today, Loy. We've got rain, we've got grey skies. It's only about 7 degrees Celsius. So in Fahrenheit, what's that? 14. About I don't know, 40 degrees, around about that mark. You know, it's not particularly warm and nice out there. It's a miserable old day. Good day for being in on the radio, Loy. Back to you, KN4SAM0JCF.
Okay, very good. Yeah, we you know, it's about it's almost 9 o'clock in the morning here, and we've got sunny skies, 9 degrees Celsius right now, and it's probably going to get up. Warm up pretty good here today before our Thanksgiving holiday tomorrow, and I'm going to be taking off after today the next 4 days, so looking forward to that. Mark, I'm running here just to let you know what my working conditions are. This is CQDX 101D. I'm running about 700 watts with a mercury amplifier into the hex beam. I'm running a hex beam. It's up at about 11 meters over.
Yeah, really interesting. That's 700 watts and a hex beam, and I'm using 100 watts and a vertical, and we're sort of about the same sort of signal strengths, but of course that's all subjective, isn't it? You know, depending on the radios, how we've got them set up, etc. And of course the path, you know, we're going in two different directions. So our first refraction from the ionosphere is probably not in exactly the same place. But it looks like you've got, a few people were telling me, you've got some snow coming. At least further north they've got snow coming. I don't know how often, especially as you're quite close to the coast, I believe. So I don't know if you suffer with the snow or anything. But yeah, I see what do you call it, Thanksgiving. Apologies, I was trying to get the holiday right. I had Christmas and all sorts in my head then. I see Thanksgiving is just upon you. We seem to be getting very close in the UK to almost celebrating Thanksgiving ourselves. Halloween certainly is now a big affair. For us, and especially when I was a youngster, for us it would be Guy Fawkes Night or November the 5th. That would be our big celebration, and then you know, the Halloween would completely pass us. It would just come and go. No one would take any notice of it. But in these days of big American television for the youngsters in this country, I suppose, you know, it's been embraced and it's gradually expanded. But yeah, Guy Fawkes Night is definitely on the wane. I think Halloween is definitely a big affair now, and I think we're getting close to almost having our own version of Thanksgiving. We certainly had Black Friday, which is quite a new thing. Just the last couple of years now, we have a Black Friday. There's nothing that appeals to me about Black Friday at all, because I just see it as big commercialism. It seems like everything that was cheap was equally just as cheap 3 weeks before Black Friday. But that's my miserable moan out of the way for you, Loy. KN4 SAM0 JCF.
Okay, this is KN4SA. Yeah, I know that you're staying down there on the low side now, but I'm hearing every word, Mark. No problem at all. And yeah, it's everything's commercialized these days. I'm sure that would be probably the main reason. Whereas the main reason for Thanksgiving is to give thanks for what we have. A lot of it is commercial now, you know, just like you just mentioned. Tomorrow kicks off Black Friday, where everybody goes out there and fights with each other for supposedly lower prices. I certainly have never done that and don't intend to. I think it's kind of ridiculous. We'll be sleeping in and relaxing on the day after Thanksgiving over.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. You know, sometimes I suppose I've seen the adverts, I've seen the commercials, and I thought to myself, wow, now that is good. I may have to go and look at that. But then, you know, take a deep breath and you realise that, you know, it isn't what it seems. I think I've been guilty of that. Maybe on eBay and places like that, where you've done the impulse buy, you thought you've got yourself a bargain, and if it looks like a bargain, it probably isn't. You know, but anyway, I think, you know, it's here to stay. It's definitely becoming a big thing. And you're quite right. Yeah, you know, I know your Thanksgiving is to give thanks for all that you have. And, you know, it'd be nice to embrace that in some ways in this side of the pond. You know, I'm now in my 60s. I'm not adverse to change. I've watched many changes in cultures and things. Some I don't agree with, some I do agree with, and some I'm sort of indifferent to. You know, it will happen because it's going to happen, and I'm not going to stand in the way anymore. I mean, there are things that I am quite passionate about, and I will put my hand up and say, no, I'm not having any of that. But, you know, Thanksgiving, I think, is a very good thing. And, you know, it would be nice if we had a version of that. We do have a similar sort of version, I suppose, in some ways. It's called Harvest Festival. And as a kid, when it was Harvest Festival time, all of us kids, we used to take in, you know, a tin of something or a piece of fresh something, you know, something that would all go into the school. It'd go into huge boxes, and then those boxes would be divided into small packages, and those packages would be sent to the needy people, the old people, the impoverished people in the neighbourhood. And that was the school's way and the children's way of, I suppose, in a very similar way, doing a Thanksgiving. But as you leave school, it never really, unless you're, I suppose, a church-going person or something like that, it doesn't really carry on in the home, at least not that I'm aware of. But you know, maybe I'm just not aware, and it is a more prevalent thing. But there you go. Anyway, your signal's holding up, Loy. Your signal's holding up very well, consistently around the 5 and 5. So that's the story. KN4 SAM0 JCF.
Okay, on the Harvest Festival, you know, that sounds like something that you know, should be done, you know, today. And everyone's wondering what they could do, and there's already been things in place that we've done over the years, but I don't know. It'd be something good to put back in place again, I'm sure. Well, look, I'm going to sign with you, Mark. It looks like conditions are changing up for us, and I've got some things I've got to get done here this morning anyway. But really nice to meet you. Really enjoyed the QSO, and hopefully we'll, as conditions get better, we'll catch up some more. So have yourself a great afternoon there. M0JCF, KM4SA.
Yeah, KN4SAM0JCF. Well, the pleasure was all mine, Loy. It was really nice to talk to you, and especially to go off-piste from the amateur radio into like cultures and customs. It's always nice, you know, to have those conversations, and we'll do it again, I'm sure. But in the meantime, have a happy Thanksgiving. I hope that you and the family and all your friends have a wonderful weekend, and if I don't speak to you beforehand, have a fantastic Christmas as well. But we've got a few more years of good propagation on 10 and 12 metres, and that's where you'll find me. So if you do hear me calling, don't be afraid, just drop in, say hello, and we'll carry on where we've left off. But until then, I'll say 73 again, take care and bye bye for now. Good luck, old friend. KN4SAM0JCF.
Yeah, I really enjoyed hearing your side of things there. And I hope that you and your family have a fantastic Christmas coming up as well. So take care in 73. This is KN4SA. Bye-bye.
Yeah, cheers, Loy. Absolute pleasure. Fantastic QSO. A QRZ, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot in southeast of England, looking for DX. Nothing is heard. CQ, CQDX, CQDX on 10. This is Mike DX, CQDX on 10. Here is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie Foxtrot, calling DX on 10.
Kilo Charlie for Radio United Mexico.
Okay, hopefully I got this right. Kilo Charlie 4, United Radio Mexico. I may have got two letters the wrong way round there, I wrote so quickly. But thanks for calling in. The name this side is Mark. That's Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo. I'm about 15 miles southeast of the city of London, and I'll give you your report, and I'll give you some details and some chat on the next over. So back to you, sir, and please correct me if I got the call sign wrong. KC4 URM. This is Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Fox.
Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Fox. Yeah, you got the call wrong, old man. The call is Kilowatt Charlie number 4, Romeo Uniform Mike, KC4RUM. And the name is Bill, Bravo India Lima Lima, located 35 miles south of Chattanooga, Tennessee. You are 57, you are 5 and 7 into the city this morning, over.
Yeah, thanks, Bill, and correction on that. KC4RUM M0JCF returning, and yeah, I understand you're just south of Chattanooga. Well, yeah, we got you in the logbook, and it's interesting. I've just checked the QRZ page for you, and it says you're in Dalton. That looks like Georgia. Is GA Georgia, so you're obviously moved slightly west, isn't it, Tennessee? But anyway, yeah, you're about 5 and 3 to me, Bill. 5 and 3. I think propagation is definitely up and down across the Atlantic today. I've seen the signal swing on the QSB quite a lot, sort of 6-7 S points. I'm using a 5/8 wave vertical antenna today, Bill. I'm using just 100 watts out of the back of the radio, and the radio's the IC-7300 by ICOM, so nothing outrageous on this side, and I say just a bit of a needle in the air really, so my power's going everywhere, probably except the places I want it to. So back to you, KC4 RUM. Bill in Chattanooga, Tennessee. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot.
Roger, Mark. Beautiful copy. You were 5 and 7 right, go around. Beautiful signal. Yeah, we south of Chattanooga. We just up in across the state line from the Tennessee line to Georgia line, and approximately maybe 110 miles north of Atlanta, Georgia. Running about 200 watts into a hex beam. And the transceiver was a Kenwood TS990GS, that's about it. And an old D104 microphone. So I won't hold you, man. I'm going to let you go. With a station like yours, you ought to be able to make a lot of contacts across the world, that's for sure. So 73, happy holidays. Mike 0, Julia, Charlie, Foxtrot. Kilo Charlie for Radio United Mexico. 73, Mark. Bye-bye.
An absolute pleasure, Bill, to meet you today, and the TS590 is a fantastic radio as well. And I see you're using a hex beam, which you know, the 200 watts, at least it's coming in my direction. I say absolute pleasure. Enjoy your days. Happy holidays to you as well. Happy Thanksgiving for the weekend, and if I don't speak to you before then, I'll bear very best wishes for Christmas as well, Bill. Take care. 73 to the whole family, and thank you again. Bye bye for now, old friend. QRZ Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, southeast of England. Nothing is heard. CQ, CQDX, CQDX on 10. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, Mike 0 excuse me, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, calling CQDX on 10.
Echo Oscar.
Okay, I got the whiskey and I got Echo Oscar. I didn't get the number in between. Apologies for that. The name this side is Mark, Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo. 15 miles southeast of the city of London, down there in the county of Kent. And I'll give you a report, and I'll give you some tech details in any other chat that you would like, sir, on the next over. But if I could just get your call sign, and apologies for missing it. Whiskey separation, Echo Oscar. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Fox.
Whiskey 8, Delta Echo Oscar, Washington number 8, Delta Echo Oscar, and the name is David, Delta Alpha Delta, located about 35 miles north of Dayton, Ohio, Mark. Is that right?
Yeah, got you there, David. No problems whatsoever. Just north of Dayton, Ohio. Only coming in about a 5 and 1, believe it or not, but the audio quality is absolutely fantastic, considering that sometimes on this radio you wasn't even moving the bar graph. I couldn't really give you a 5 and 0 because obviously that would be impossible, but we give you a 5 and 1, but there is some QSB between myself and the USA at this time, upwards of 5 or 6 S points. So it's no great surprise if your next report would be a 5 and 5, 5 and 6. But today, David, we're using a 5/8 wave vertical antenna, so just a needle in the sky, or a needle point into the sky. We're using 100 watts from the back of the radio, and the radio is the ubiquitous ICOM IC-7300, very popular, I'm sure you know it. So let's go back to you and find out a bit more about your station. Whiskey 8, Delta Echo Oscar, David, north of Dayton, Ohio. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot.
QSL Mark, yeah, Mike 0, Japan Charlie Fox, WACU. Yeah, the radio I'm using is the FT710. The FT710, running it into a Cushcraft, an H2S up about 39 feet, and running 35 watts at the moment. QSL?
Absolutely fantastic, 35 watts. I will have to match that power in a moment, just to make it, make it fair and square, David. But the FT710, that radio's becoming so popular now. I think it's going to be, I think it's going to overtake the 991 Alpha by Yaesu. And that one was very popular for a long time. The IC-7300 seemed to get more popular than that, and now the FT10. Everyone's talking FT10 as like an entry-level type radio. And I've heard nothing but good reports from them, at least the ones that I work. So it looks like you've got yourself a good radio there. I like lots of old radios as well. If you check my QRZ page, David, you'll see I like old rubbish that everyone's throwing in the bin. I tend to rescue it, but just recently I've been using this radio only because I've had local noise problems, and I use the superior SDR technology just to get rid of my noise. It's a nice radio, it does the job, but I do like playing about with the old stuff and the homebrew stuff. Whiskey X-Ray here today, David, if you're interested. It's only about 7 or 8 degrees, grey, gloomy. It's been raining the last few days, and it looks like we could have a few days of dryness, but winter's pretty much on the doorstep now, and we don't expect any more real good weather until at least March next year. So us Brits, we like to moan about the weather all of the time, and that's what happens when you live on an island nation surrounded by water. So that's the story, David. Whiskey 8 Delta Echo Oscar. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Fox.
QSL, Mark. Now, looking at the QRP page, QRZ page, when you said that, you got a lot of radios. There's no doubt about it. I've had a few over the years, not that many for sure. The market conditions are going up and down. I got the average of about a 5 and 2 on that vertical. I think we've been qualified for us all on university. We don't get this many. So Mark, I'll let you go. Thanks for the contact. Hope your weather improves down there. And I love the 7300. I started to buy one. I actually went into HRO to buy a 7300. He popped up about the 710, and bought the 710. That's how he ended up with this part. Hey, take care. Happy holidays, Mark. Open to the 66 0 Japan Charlie Fox. 58 Delta Echo Oscar. David in Ohio, 7-3.
Yeah, W8DOM0JCF for that final, David. An absolute pleasure to have this short QSO with you. And yeah, it's great fun. As I say, I was going to drop my power, but you're bordering on just a 4 and 1 now. So we'll do it another day. I will play QRP, David. I'll get my power below 10 watts. And if you do the same, and we can both claim QRP contact, that'll be fantastic. But in the meantime, happy holidays to you. Have a great Thanksgiving weekend, and if I don't speak to you beforehand, have a fantastic Christmas holiday as well. All the very best there, David, and 73 to everyone around you. W8DOM0JCF. Cheers.
Cheers, my friend. Bye-bye.
The QRZ, Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot, southeast of England.
7 Quebec 5, Mike Lima Victor.
Mike Lima Victor. Sorry, I didn't quite catch the prefix, but the name is Mark. That's Mike Alpha Romeo Kilo in Sidcup in Kent, southeast of England, just 15 miles from London. Back to you.
Yeah, good afternoon. This is number 7, Quebec, and number 5, Mike Lima.
Yeah, got you now. 7, right, let me write this in. 7 Quebec 5, Mike Lima Victor. Not a call sign that springs like immediate recognition, but we'll get there. I see you're in Malawi. And if I'm right, I've got Mark in Malawi. So I think you're about my second or third contact in that country. So let's give you a report on the next over. But as I say, the name is Mark, and I'm 15 miles southeast of London. And back to you, 7Q5 MLV M0 JCF.
Yeah, 7 Quebec 5, Mike, Lima, Victor, returning. Good afternoon, Mark, if you got me right, so I'm sure I said got on there. The name's Mark, Mike Alpha Romeo Charlie. Indeed, you are coming into the northern region of Malawi, the city of Mzuzu, and you're about a 5 and 6. The 5 and 6, there's a bit of QC on the frequency, but that's been around there for a couple of weeks now, so it's not, the frequency's not been as open as it is today. You're nice and clear though, nice clear signal, so, and the voices, the audio's good. I've just heard you calling CQ, and there was a big pile up on a bit further up for the Galapagos and another place, I can't remember quite what it was. But anyway, I can't be bothered with the pile up. Let me just have a watch the frequency, see what it's about. So I heard you calling, so I thought I'd just give you a shout anyway. I didn't know if you've got Malawi in your logbook or not. Anyway, the name is Mark, Mike Alpha Romeo Charlie, about 33 centigrade here today, and the local time is, back to you, Mark. Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot from 7 Quebec 5 Mike Lima Victor.
Yeah, 7Q5 MLV M0 JCF. Well, thanks for the 5 and 6, Mark. You're peaking today 5 and 3, dropping down to a 4 and 1. I mean, you're not moving the bar graph when it's on the bottom end, but I can't give you a 0, so you're a 4 and 1, but peaking a 5 and 3. And I would say that the audio quality is good throughout. I mean, I have not missed a word yet. The 4 and 1 is quite marginal. It's more of a 5 and 1. But anyway, yeah, I heard Galapagos on yesterday, and I heard the complete zoo 5 kilohertz above, and I wasn't going to bother. But you know, I'm happy to work Malawi. I'm happy to work. Well, it's Southeast Africa, aren't you? Down that way. Where's Malawi? That's below. I could look on the map, couldn't I? Oh yeah, look, below Tanzania, but sandwiched in between Mozambique and Zambia. Oh, well, you know, I've had most of the countries around there now. I'm missing Zimbabwe. And yeah, Zimbabwe is one of the countries that I'm missing in your region. Just listening to your accent, I was just wondering, and this might be presumptuous of me, if you're an expat, possibly living or working there. But anyway, I'll give you some technical details. IC-7300 this side, Mark. Using 100 watts from the back of the radio, and the antenna is just a 5/8 wave of vertical, just a very simple antenna. I'll hand it back to you in case the QSB's dropped you off the cliff. 7Q5 and Mike Lima Victor. This is Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot.
Yeah, 7 Quebec 5 Mike Lima Victor returning. Yeah, all copied. Yeah, well, where do I start? Yes, definitely an expat. I've been living in Malawi since 2011. So I love it here. Yeah, I'll not the back. Not at all. So love the place. Great. There are a few amateur radio enthusiasts here, but not many. There's an American gone, and there's Vasco, the Portuguese, which has now Malawi again, but he's from I think it's 77 Charles Tango, I think. I can't remember his name. Malawi. They're on the air, but most of them, the equipment is impossible to find. You have to get shipped in from the UK, wherever. So that's what the setup is here. So yeah, I'm 63, sort of semi-retired really. I've got a little joinery business here, but it doesn't do a lot. We're just too expensive for most people. It's just there's only other expats who've got some money who come to get stuff paid. But we're ticking along and stuff, so that's pretty good. All copied on the IC-7300, yeah, the radio. I've got an CQDX 10. Love the radio. I previously was in the UK. I had an iPhone. I can't remember what it was. I mean, I've been out of the hobby since 1999. Only came back to it this year in Malawi, and all retired and raised the pension scheme before we did. Yeah, okay, I was about to swear about this government before this government decided to raise it. So I thought that let me buy some questions. So I'm running about 500 watts to a GX Commander at the moment. So that's the here, they call it 1010. I actually have a hex beam which I got from the US. Located about a week or so ago, and I've got my power net. That's still on its way to pay. Anyway. Yeah, I'm from the UK. Well, I mean, for a good 15 years. Anyway, welcome back to you. You're a Charlie Foxtrot from 7 Quebec, 5 Mike Lima Victor.
Yeah, 7Q5, MLV, M0, JCF. Well, your signal's been quite marginal throughout that over, Mark. You was anything from a 5 and 3 down to about a 3 and 1 and then back up. The QSB is quite fast, but it is sort of 3 or 4 S points. So when it was at the bottom, it was making it difficult. 53 and semi-retired. Well, I'm 60. Well, I'm not quite 62. I'm nearly 62 and I'm completely retired. I was lucky. I managed to retire at 59, although, you know, I'm not out in the sunshine like you are. I'm here in the miserable, wet, grey weather, which I'm sure you remember. But interesting that you're a joiner, and I think you said you were doing mainly fences now, and I was going to ask, you know, are they elephant and rhinoceros proof fences? You know, I don't really know the flora and fauna of Malawi, but you know, I think of southeastern Africa, and I immediately think of big elephants, big rhinos, and you building a fence, you know, just to keep them out. But that was just a flippant comment, really. It doesn't really need a long discussion, but it was just interesting, you know, the job that you've got and what you're doing down there. Well, I won't hold it with you, Mark, only because the propagation isn't quite in our favour, and you was up and down like a yo-yo. But I'm very surprised actually that we haven't had the world and his dog jumping in with you causing a pile up. I know you said the Galapagos are causing a pile up further up the band, and I think there was a DXpedition in Malawi either earlier this year or it was pardon me, last year, and I'm pretty sure that's when I worked Malawi. So in a way it's really good that I've worked an indigenous ham in Malawi and someone who's actually responded to my CQ call. I think that, you know, that trounces the expeditions all day long for me. So it's a really fantastic contact. But as I say, I won't hold it with you only because of the propagation conditions, and I'm going to put out a few more calls, then probably call it a day. But you know, you've put a smile on my face today, and you've like ticked a box because you know you're a country, a rarer country that has contacted me on my CQ call, and that, as I say, is better than any other contact you can get at that time. So have fun with the FTDX10. I know you say you're using the DX Commander. They're quite a popular antenna over here because they're a multi-band vertical, aren't they? I think Callum, who designed or markets it, he has a YouTube channel that seems to be quite popular as well. So yeah, I do know the antenna. And interesting, you're talking about getting the hex beam. I've just taken down my 2 meter band beam antenna off the rotator, and I'm going to replace it with a 2-element Moxon antenna to give me more direction, you know, more directional qualities. Just really for when the band starts to peter off in a few years' time. So no rush at this moment. Mark, an absolute pleasure, mate. But as I say, I'm going to wish you very best 73 and take care. And hopefully, if you hear me again and the propagation's good, well, even if it's bad, just jump in, say hello, and put a smile on my face again. So I'll hand it over to you for any finals there, and hopefully I will hear you. 7Q5 MLV M0 JCF listening. Back to you, sir.
The propagation is making it troublesome now, but I appreciate the QSO review. Yeah, I'm not a fan of places where the amateur radio is used. I can't see the point of that, but that's just my opinion. I'll bid you a 7-3. Best wishes to you and yours, and I hope you can secure the ground along and that's one of the ready very shortly. Best wishes, mate. Thanks for the nice contact. Happy birthday. N0 Charlie Fox from 7 Quebec 5 Mike Lima Victor. Good evening.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Very, very good of you. And we've done it at the right time. You are not moving the signal meter at all, and you're consistently around Santiago, Radio 4 now. So, yeah, good to end by saying goodbye rather than losing you. Take care and good luck. QRZ, Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot, southeast of England. Nothing is heard. CQ, CQDX, CQDX on 10. This is Mike 0, Juliet, Charlie, Foxtrot. To go QRT, but if you'd like a report, it's no problem whatsoever. The name this side is Mark, and I'm 20 kilometres southeast of the City of London. Back to you, sir.
Fine business. Yeah, I heard you calling DX. And my station's located in Europe, so that I felt that you probably didn't want to get a local station. And then I heard you go QRT, so I thought I'd throw the call sign out there. Name on this end is Tom Tango Officer Mike, and the full call is Lima Zulu stroke Alpha Echo number 1 Tango Papa. Back to you.
Yeah, Lima Zulu stroke Alpha. Start again, shall I? Lima Zulu stroke Alpha Echo 1 Tango Papa. Tom, very good afternoon to you, old man, or good evening for you in Bulgaria. 5 and 6 to me, Tom. Yeah, absolutely no problems. Do you know what? I call DX quite often, and many times I get Europeans answer me. And you know what? I don't stand on the convention of no, I'm calling DX. I want out of continent, obviously off the continent. But you know, at the end of the day, I don't know why they're calling me. And, you know, some of these stations, they're QRP, they're below 5 watts. And for me, regardless, you know, I find that an achievement, you know, if it's short skip or medium skip into the UK on below 10 watts, you know, I take it. So I give everyone a chance. So I had absolutely no problems with you calling in, Tom. But yeah, peaking about 5 and 6 today, Tom. I'm using a 5/8 wave vertical. I'm using 100 watts, and the radios are very common, IC-7300 by Icom. So back to you after that long tirade. LZ stroke AE1TP. This is M0 JCF.
Fine business. I just want to make sure I did get your call sign correct. I believe you said it was M0 Juliet Tango Alpha. Is that correct? Go ahead.
Negative, sir. It's Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Foxtrot. M0 JCF, or Mexico 0 Japan Canada Florida is how the Europeans like to pronounce it. Back to you.
That's fine business. Got it this time there, Mark. Yeah, got it this time. Thank you so much for the patience. Yeah, I normally like to listen more than I actually have a QSO. I just sit back and have a listen and so forth. But if I hear a QRP station, I always try to get that QRP station. You know, there's a couple of reasons for that. Number one, he's a QRP. Chances are he's portable. And he's out in the cold or out in the heat on the side of a mountain or sitting in his car in the rain, who knows. So they're really doing the ham radio business there. Also, if it's a low power guy, he can be newbie to the radio as well, and we always want to encourage that also. But the other thing is too, I try to stick to the convention because you never know. Not everyone is as welcoming as you are. And some people do get upset. So I always listen first. And I just enjoy the hobby from that perspective. I'm quite fortunate as well. My XYL, she sits in the same room with me, and often she's listening as well and so forth. So sort of we have our evening tea together, and that's sort of what we're doing right now, by the way. I'm actually a remote station today. I'm using the Flex 6400. And just running 85 watts into a cobweb antenna, a very simple station. But I'm actually sitting in the Kingdom of Bahrain this evening. I was in Bulgaria till a few days ago, but so now we're just trying out the remote station today. Anyway, back to you, Mark. I hope you're having a good evening. Mike 0 Juliet Charlie Fox, Lima Zulu stroke Alpha, Echo 1 Tango Papa. Back to you.
Yeah, LZ stroke AE1 TPM0 JCF returning. Absolutely fantastic. What a torturous route we're having. You're in Bahrain and you're calling from Bulgaria. But, you know, that's fantastic. As I say, you're consistently around the 5 and 5, a little bit of QSB. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's not killing the signal at all. But, yeah, it's not been too bad. Somebody was reporting over an hour ago on one of the social media radio groups that I'm in that they were working the FM repeaters, and quite a few FM repeaters, and sometimes I'll do that. I like to work the US repeater in the Catskill mountains, you know, New York State, and there's one in London, Ontario, Canada. I like to work them, but I specifically call for US or Canadian stations, and you'd be amazed the amount of Europeans that will call you using like one of those repeaters. And you know, I don't like to be rude, so you know, I'm quite cordial, but what I don't want to do is tie up the repeater, because you know, a lot of US and Canadians like to use their own repeaters, especially if they're out mobile. And I think the one in New York as well, it also has inputs from 70 centimeters, 2 meters, all sorts. So you know, they may be mobile with a 70 centimeter handheld or even portable, you know, walking around 70 centimeter handheld, going into the repeater, and you know, and there's 2 Europeans having a conversation via it. You know, I'm happy on 10 meters to talk to Europeans via sporadic E, or some unusual F propagation. And likewise, otherwise, you know, 40 meters works well for me. I can use 2 meters into the near continent, that sort of thing. So yeah, it just, you know, it is what it is. I know there's rules and regulations, but they're all pretty much gentlemen's rules and regulations. Admittedly, if I hear somebody calling CQDX and he's European, I don't bother. You know, I don't want to like stop his flow, as it were. But there you go. Well, that's fantastic. Anyway, as I say, Tom, I am going QRT. So I'm going to wish you very best wishes for the rest of the week and the weekend and the holiday season. Whoever's interested in that sort of thing. But you know, we have to cover all bases and tick all the boxes, and then I don't offend anyone, because I do tend to quite often. But all tongue-in-cheek, all joking aside. But it was great to speak to you, Tom. As I say, I'll let you have the frequency if you want to take it over and put out some CQs yourself. But I am going to go QRT. My wife had gone shopping a little while ago, and I can hear noises downstairs. I'm in the loft, you know, the attic space. So it's quite possible she's back now. And I want to go and spend the afternoon now with my good lady wife. Just as you're doing at this moment. So can I wish you to say once again, 73, good luck. And if you hear me, even if I'm calling DX, Tom, please do come and say hello. It's no problem whatsoever. As I say, I'm quite cordial, unless I'm in a rush or anything, or I'm trying to work somebody in particular. I've got absolutely no problems with anyone coming back to me. So I'll hand it over to you for a final after this long rambling over from me. LZ stroke AE1TP M0JCF. Cheers, Tom. Bye-bye for now.
That's fine business, all copied. There was a bit of QSB in the last over, but 100% copied. You went down to about a 5 and 7. And I'm in fear, but my signal will get down a bit low for you as well on this last over. Anyway, I'll just say cheers and beers. Thanks for the conversation. Always very nice. And once again for picking me up. I do realize you were going QRT when I made the call. So once again, thanks for that. Enjoy the afternoon, early evening with your missus there. And I'll say cheers and beers. Have yourself a great holiday season coming up, and Happy New Year if I don't get a chance to have a QSO again with you sometime before 2025. Once again, Mark, thanks again, and have yourself a great evening. Cheers. Mike 0 JCF, Lima Zulu stroke Alpha Echo on Tango Papa. All the best.
Yeah, cheers for that, Tom. And just for your paper logbook, if you keep one like I do, you're just nudging 5 and 9 on that last over. So the QSB is all over the place today. But it wouldn't be fun if it wasn't, you know. If it was easy as a phone call, we would just pick up the telephone and dial random numbers to complete strangers. Okay, Mike 0, Juliet Charlie Foxtrot is again QRT. This frequency is clear for use.
All the best things. Cheerio, Cal.